Well, in this chapter, they finally decide on a name for the new ship that the Straw Hats will be sailing around, and the name is the Thousand Sunny.
Chapter 439 of One Piece, 3rd and 7th.
So the Thousand Sunny it is. Well, hello, my brothers and sisters of the Nerd Nation. I, as always, am Jim, here to bring you another review on the awesome and heartwarming and Thousand Sunnyville tale of One Piece. Our last chapter, honestly, for me, is probably the most thought-provoking, heartwarming chapter that I've read, maybe in any medium, but definitely the best that I've read in any type of manga or anime-related, type of series so far. That's just personal opinion. Opinions will vary, but for me, it was just absolutely wonderfully done. Usopp has rejoined the crew. Frankie, of course, has joined the crew. And now we're just, everybody's trying to eagerly escape Water 7 and the clutches of Vice Admiral Garp, who is tossing frickin' cannonballs at the ship. So that's how the chapter ends off. Chapter picks up right there, and it's actually great. We have this initial part where they go and Frankie tells them to fold the sails up. Now, obviously, he built the ship, so he knows all the inner workings and all how things, how you can, all the little things, the little nooks and crannies, and the added stuff that he put on there, the bells and whistles, right? So he says, fold up the sails, and they're like, are you sure? We shouldn't fold up the sails. They're going to catch us, right? So they fold up the sails, but before they can do anything, they have to name the ship, right? And they're like, well, do you think we should do that right now? We're in the middle of being chased by, by a vice admiral with an admiral on board who's chucking cannonballs at us in his fucking battleship, right? So maybe this isn't the best time, but then they go and they point out, listen, this is a new ship. It's its maiden voyage, and it would be bad luck and just bad form to not name it, right? So they all start going with these different things, and Luffy just throws out all these goofy-ass names of just animals. He's like, whale, octopus, cheetah, snarfledick, and just all these goofy things, right? And really everybody's kind of chiming in on it, and Frankie winds up having this little flashback to where on the front of it, Frankie thinks it's supposed to be a lion's head, right? And to me, it looks like a sunflower, and that also is what it looks like to Iceberg, because Iceberg said that's a wonderful ship's head that you have on there. It's great, and he refers to it as a sunflower. And he says, no, you idiot, it's because this is going to be the king of all the ships, and that's the king of the jungle type of thing. And Frankie thinks it's supposed to be a lion, right? And if it's a lion for like a baby's mobile or something like that, because to me, it looks like a sunflower with a face, right? And again, that's what Iceberg thought too. And Iceberg goes and comes up with the greatest ship to sail the thousand seas, right? And he calls it the Thousand Sunny, right? And when I first looked at it, I said, I don't know if I like that name or not. But you know what? Actually, it encompasses really everything about them. Number one, the Thousand Seas thing, the thousand part of it. To become king of the pirates, Luffy is going to have to explore quite a bit of this world, right? Quite a bit of the world that's known, probably some of it that's unknown. There's going to be a lot, okay? So the 1,000 is kind of cool. 1,000 could be for the 1,000 journeys, the 1,000 seas, the 1,000 perils, the 1,000 dangers, whatever, right? And Sunny is kind of cool because, because no matter what, they seem to have, and especially Luffy, everybody, you lead by example, and people like to follow somebody that has. Luffy just has such a bright and shining personality, man, that for him, although it's a very childlike mentality, it's a very cool mentality, man. He lets shit roll off his back and stuff doesn't bother him. He doesn't hold grudges and things like that. He sees people for what they are. And really, like I said, just has kind of this sunny outlook on life, And then the crew kind of follows along with that, too. So I thought it was great. They wind up coming up with the name Thousand Sunny. That's what they decide they're going to name it. And it's so funny because because everybody else had an idea of what they were going to name it. And some of the names were just flat out just silly and goofy that made you laugh. Other ones were, were actually supposed to be serious, I believe, like from Robin and maybe even Sanji. Anyway, so they name it Thousand Sunny, and now the sails are folded down. Boom, they're about to get going. So Luffy's like, all right, see you, Grandpa. Gotta get going now. We gotta get serious about escaping. Like he was just fucking around the whole time before then, right? So Garp's like, oh yeah? I still got another cannonball over here. And somehow, some way, I don't know if it's part of his power or if it was just drawn to be exaggerated or what, because it doesn't even look like it would have been able to fit in or on their ship, but all of a sudden there's this huge cannonball that's like the size of their ship, like looming overhead, that's coming towards them, right? And all of a sudden, so Frankie goes and he says, watch this, coup de burst, right? And instead of his coup de vent, where he goes and like farts and pops himself forward because he has cola cans in there, apparently he explains later on that it uses up 3 barrels of cola, like kegs of cola, but the ship actually goes, and I mean just takes off in the air, right? Now, we've seen a flying ship before, even though it wasn't really controlled so well, on the way up and down from Skypiea, right? So we've definitely seen a ship moving through the air. But anyway, this thing can fly for a straight-up kilometer, right, before it lands. And a kilometer, if I remember correctly, is, I think it's 2.2 kilometers in a mile, or is it? Maybe, I forget exactly, but whatever. The point is that a kilometer is far enough to get you the hell out of danger and get you away from things. So I thought that was really cool. And Garp is sitting there and he's like, oh, what the hell? And he's like, he's kind of happy, obviously, though, because he's like, hey, listen, I tried my best, you know what I mean? And it is what it is, right? And then Aokiji's just like, yep, they're gone, you know? So, I mean, Garp, obviously, it's his grandson. He wants him to get away. But at the same time, he has to obviously follow orders as well. And his orders from Sengoku were to go back and get them, you know, to kill them, to wipe them out, whatever, to destroy them, capture them, all of the above, none of the above, some of the above, I don't know. Anyways, a very, very cool chapter, though, in that sense. And then as they kind of go off and set off on their journey, we get a little bit of a check-in from some of the other areas and some of the other characters that we've kind of met along the way. And it just says some island on the Grand Line somewhere, right? And you see Smoker, who's now being referred to as Commodore Smoker. So clearly after Alabasta, the events of Alabasta, he got a promotion, even with his shit-talking back to headquarters, you know, where he basically told him to fuck off. Obviously now he's gone. And actually, you know, I think I should do a video on this because many of you may know the hierarchy and the ranking, but there was actually a few chapters back in the SBS things, there was a nice ranking chart to show how everything goes all the way from, you know, just a lowly seaman all the way up to, you know, vice admiral and admiral and what their duties are and things like that. So I think I'll maybe do a separate video on that. But anyway, a Commodore is obviously a promotion for him. Tashigi also is it Ensign now? Ensign? Ensign, yeah, that's how it's pronounced. Anyway, he's just defeated somebody that hit a 50 million berry bounty. He's basically like, you know, whatever, it was a light workout type of thing. But he goes and sees the information about their bounties being raised and obviously the events at Eni's lobby, and he vows to go and follow them to the new world and take them down. Because now what they're doing is they're making piracy look like it's a cool thing, like it's a good thing. It's being glorified and glamorized now, and he doesn't want that because obviously he's a Navy man through and through, you know, a government man, it seems like anyway. And then we even get a check-in from Alabasta, which was kind of nice to go and see Vivi and just kind of, you know, some of her crew and whatnot around there. And they're all coming to Vivi and going, oh, and you got to look, and that woman, that Miss All Sunday, you know, because remember, she was with Baroque Works and Crocodile, you know, up until at the end of that when she pretty much forced herself onto the crew. And it's cool because Vivi just kind of lets that shit roll off her back, too, just like Luffy does. She's just like, I don't care. Listen, I trust Luffy. He's on a different level. She even says that. She uses that term. He's on a different level. He's going to be king of the pirates. He's on a different level. I trust him, whatever he thinks. So, it is what it is, right? And then we wind up getting a cool, kind of joyful, everybody get together at the end over here, which I thought was, again, done very well. We get the crew kind of going and partying. And this is after, of course, we get the check-in at Alabasta. We see Karoo, we see Vivi, we see everybody, you know, over there. But this is great, though. We get everybody going and cheering on in here. I'll just even read this last page, you know. Now let's make it official. Let's welcome back Robin and Usopp, as well as our new members, Frankie, and the ship, of course, the Thousand Sunny. Cheers, everybody. Drink up. Next stop, Fishman Island. With the tide in their favor, the pirates now head off in a straight line to the underwater paradise. I don't know how the hell they're going to get to an underwater paradise. All I know is that this is just what a great... That's how you end off... It didn't even end off the volume, but that's how you end off a story arc, right? It's such a big, magnificent story arc, and now I can see why a lot of people talked to me and told me, just wait, Water 7, Eni's Lobby... It's among the best that One Piece has to offer. And I know there's still a lot to see. There's a lot to come, but there were so many things that happened, so many characters that kind of just leveled up or powered up, so to speak. I mean, I could go on and do whole separate videos for each character and their development that happened just in this particular saga or this particular arc or whatever you'd like to call it. I know there's usually a few arcs within the saga, and this is actually the Water 7 saga, so that technically, you know, encompasses everything from Long Ring, Long Land through Water 7, Ennie's Lobby, as well as this and the post-Ennie's Lobby. But what a way to just do things, man, and to just kind of just cap everything off. Absolutely beautiful, and like I said, the main focus of this chapter was the Thousand Sunny, and of course naming it. And that's where that comes around full circle here. There's a method to my madness. It's kind of a fucked up, convoluted method, but there is a method. The Thousand Sunny, my chapter question is, what are your thoughts on the name, the Thousand Sunny? You know, and obviously what you know, what it means to you, or what you think it means, or if you like it, if you hate it, if you're indifferent about it. I'd like to know. Inquiring minds want to know. Leave your answer to that question in the comments down below. Feel free to hit the thumbs up, the like button if you should think that I deserve it, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We will look forward to catching all of you in the next one, Nation. As always, thank you for watching and joining me on this